A shadow has fallen over the Minnesota Vikings, and what was supposed to be a moment of celebration has quickly transformed into a state of total crisis. The echoes of the victory against the New York Giants should still be ringing through the halls of the training facility, but instead, the atmosphere is heavy with the weight of looming tragedy and financial dread. A dark bomb has just dropped on this roster, and the fallout is reaching every corner of the locker room, leaving fans and analysts in a state of absolute shock. At the very center of this swirling storm is Aaron Jones, the veteran running back who has become both a symbol of hope and a harbinger of a looming disaster. While the scoreboard showed a narrow 16-13 victory, the reality behind the scenes is much more sinister than anyone could have imagined. The NFL's Game Day Accountability Hub has just released a report that exposes the raw violence and the blatant disregard for rules that took place on that field, and the consequences are severe. Giants cornerback Andrew Phillips was caught in a moment of unnecessary roughness that has sent shockwaves through the league. This wasn't just a simple football play, it was a physical assault on a player who has already sacrificed so much for the purple and gold. Phillips was fined over $7,000 for pulling Aaron Jones off a pile in a manner that violated the very fabric of the rulebook. This is the tragedy that players like Jones face every single week, a constant battle against opponents who are willing to cross the line to gain an advantage. Jones was already battling injuries, fighting with every ounce of his being to keep his season alive in a campaign that many feel has already gone awry. Every hit, every tug, and every aggressive pile-on feels like a terrifying step closer to the end for the 30-year-old star. The NFL rulebook is clear on this matter, specifically citing Rule 12, Article 8, Item H, which forbids pulling an opponent off a pile in an aggressive or forcible manner. The 15-yard penalty that resulted from this incident helped lead to a Will Reichard field goal, but the cost to Aaron Jones's body cannot be measured in yards or points. The league is trying to send a message, but for Jones, the damage might already be done. And he wasn't the only one targeted by the league's disciplinary arm. The veteran leader of the defense, Harrison Smith, also found himself in the crosshairs. His fine was even more substantial, a heavy price to pay for a hit on Jackson Dart that the league deemed too dangerous in their persistent and aggressive push to protect quarterbacks. This is the reality of the modern NFL, where the hits are harder, the stakes are higher, and the financial penalties are mounting. Kevin O'Connell is now standing at a massive crossroads, staring down a future that looks increasingly bleak. He sees a running back in Aaron Jones who is on contract through 2026, but the numbers on the balance sheet simply do not add up. A $14 million cap hit is looming over this franchise like a sharp guillotine. With the Vikings projected to be nearly $36 million over the salary limit once the next calendar begins, a miracle is the only thing that can save this roster from a total teardown. The physical toll on Jones is one thing, but the financial toll on the organization is another animal entirely. The fans are witnessing a tragedy in slow motion as one of their favorite players becomes a liability in the eyes of the accountants. The shadow of Jordan Mason is growing longer and more imposing by the day. Mason, the hungry replacement brought in from San Francisco via trade, is waiting in the wings with a much more team-friendly contract and a younger set of legs. Is this the end of the Aaron Jones era in Minnesota? The veteran has earned nearly $50 million in his career, but in the cold, hard world of professional football, past glory does not pay the bills. Every missed game, every minor ailment, and every disciplinary report is a nail in the coffin of his tenure with the Vikings. The tension within the organization is palpable, and the clock is ticking toward a decision that could change the face of this team forever. Kevin O'Connell must decide if he can afford to keep a veteran who is on the wrong side of 30 and struggling to stay on the field. The victory over the Giants was supposed to provide a sense of relief, but instead it has opened a Pandora's box of questions that no one seems ready to answer. The physicality of the game is breaking the man, and the economics of the game are breaking the team. We are looking at a full-scale crisis that could result in a massive roster purge. The NFL is a business of results and availability, and right now Aaron Jones is finding himself on the losing end of both. The fine handed down to Andrew Phillips was a small piece of justice, but it does nothing to alleviate the growing sense of dread in Minnesota. As we look toward the future, the questions only get harder. Can the Vikings survive this financial crunch? Will Aaron Jones ever return to the Pro Bowl forms that made him a legend? Or are we watching the final chapters of a career that is being cut short by injuries and salary cap math? The urgency of this situation cannot be overstated. The Vikings are at a breaking point, and the next few months will determine if they can rebuild or if they will crumble under the weight of their own ambitions. Every snap Aaron Jones takes from now on is a high-stakes gamble with his career and the team's future. The world is watching, and the pressure on Kevin O'Connell to make a move is reaching a fever pitch. This is the dark side of the NFL, where a win on Sunday can lead to a total collapse by Monday. Stay tuned, because this story is far from over, and the next bomb to drop might be the one that changes everything for the Minnesota Vikings and their star running back.